It wasn't working.
There's one person that caught just like the biggest L all in that entire like month and a half or however long was Ronaldo.
Assalamu alaikum everyone, welcome back to yet another episode of the MSA podcast. My name is Adnan al-Zabi. I'm a second year health science student and I'm joined by my two amazing guests here. Nader, introduce yourself please.
Assalamu alaikum, my name is Nader Shawish. I'm the president of the Western MSA. I'm also a fourth year kinesiology student here at Western University.
Assalamu alaikum, my name is Mohamed and I am the Ummah Affairs Director. I'm usually behind the camera, but today you get to see my face. I am a second year medical sciences student.
Okay, let's start this off with the topic we're talking today about is the World Cup. As you guys know, Argentina won the World Cup.
Congrats.
I'm very happy
Thanks.
because I supported Argentina from the beginning. What about you guys?
I'm usually a Brazil fan,
Oh, tough.
but Messi's my favorite player. And so for this World Cup, I was like, no, I'm going to have to switch shirts, swap jerseys, and go with Argentina. I mean, like, the entire world was with Argentina, you know, trying to get that last World Cup for Messi.
Yeah.
But yeah, what about you, bro?
I was supporting Brazil. Brazil hasn't won it in a long time.
That's true.
Since 2002, I think, right?
Yep.
Yeah. And I felt that they had a really good squad this year.
That's true. They also got humiliated, like, what was it?
2014.
2014.
Yeah,
that's true.
7-1 was
And
that was the greatest.
Mohamed, are you Messi or Ronaldo?
Let's say both are good.
No, you need to give me an. Like,
I'm a strong Messi fan.
okay, that's
Yeah,
perfect.
yeah.
That's
No,
perfect.
he's
Look,
definitely a Messi fan.
exactly. We respect Ronaldo and what he's achieved and where he's become. But we're both all three of us are Messi fans.
You have to be objective in this, you know what I'm saying? You have
That's true. That's true. Okay, so both of you supported Brazil before watching the World Cup. So did I. I honestly lost faith in Argentina after the first game,
Yeah.
Saudi Arabia.
Yeah.
That was devastating for me personally. Probably for you as well.
No, it's actually a funny story. So I remember, because the game was at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
And so I was like asleep, and then I remember just like waking up just like at this one time, and I was like, oh, the Argentina game's on. I checked my phone, it's like 6:50. The game's almost done. So I checked the score. I was like, oh, it's like probably 5-0 Argentina. It's all good. Check 2-1 Saudi Arabia. So I run upstairs. I checked the score, like just watched the game last few minutes, and I was baffled, like the rest of the entire world. But yeah, at the time I was like, okay, this is a little scary for Argentina. It's another flop year, but I was like, this Argentina team is a lot different than all the other teams. You have players like Rodrigo de Paul. Messi looks like a different animal. They're a lot more mentally tough than they usually are. Different coach as well, Lionel Scaloni. So I wasn't as afraid. But it was definitely a shocking game.
For that game, personally, like I didn't watch the full game, but I watched the highlights. Honestly, like it was an upsetting match, but I still didn't lose faith in Argentina. If you actually watch the game, two of the goals were in offside. Like I can put money on that.
That's true. Yeah.
Putting money on that is haram, but anyways. Yeah, and plus, when you see Messi, how he played through the game, the passes he made, it reminds you of 2012 Messi.
Exactly. Talking about the game time, it was 5 a.m. We had 4 games a day, I believe.
Something like 4 games.
Yeah.
4 games
a day during the group stage.
5 a.m., 8, 10, and 2.
Yeah, I think.
And as you guys can imagine, was finals period where we all had exams. How did you guys manage watching that type of stuff? These games with all the stress you had?
I know Mohamed has his own kind of final studying thing. But I remember, so the World Cup started a little before final season, but it kind of went into it. I remember the World Cup final itself was prime time final season, December 18th.
That's true.
And so I remember, like, for the most part, along with many other people, the majority of my days are just spent watching the World Cup.
It's true.
And school at that point was almost like a side quest, to put it the least. But subhanAllah, like, what it comes down to is, like, you look at the football side of things, it's like, oh, this is just an enjoyable way, to spend time, spend time with your friends and family and so on and so forth. And then when the time comes, like, hey, I need to do so-and-so for school, just really prioritizing what you needed to do was something that helped me. There were some times where I felt as though I indulged a little too much in the World Cup. But alhamdulillah, we're here now, and, no complaints.
I think, to be honest, like it's one time in 4 years, right?
That's
So
true.
throughout your whole undergrad degree, if you're doing 4
same
years, just once, you know. But at the same time, you also gotta maintain your average and stuff, which is really important if you're pursuing studies after undergrad. So what I did, I just took the games as study breaks.
Good one.
So like I would study between games, and just games would be like my study breaks.
I don't know. As Nader said, like sometimes, or the majority of times, let's say I indulge myself in a bit too much of fun.
Yeah.
Like
It depends on the games. Sometimes
Yeah, that's true.
like
That's true.
yeah,
Like the final World Cup, the day after I had an anatomy exam,
yeah.
it was insane.
They should
and-
have cancelled the exam.
I know. And they had to do it the same day, and oh man, I had to watch a game. Like I couldn't do anything.
No, I think Mohamed brought up a really good point. This is only going to happen once in every
Exactly.
4 years, and even more so. You're talking about like generational athletes like Messi, Ronaldo, their last World Cups. I know there's a lot of speculation about Neymar being
Exactly,
his last World
that's
Cup. And so it was like a all-in-one kind of moment, and even more so, it was in an Arab Muslim country. And
That's
so
true.
this is something that like doesn't necessarily come around as often. And so like if I spent a little bit too much time watching the World Cup, it was justified by like this is a once in a lifetime type of thing.
Exactly.
But no, alhamdulillah, yeah. I like the study break thing. That's a good one.
So that's 8 hours a day. But it's fun.
Sometimes they extend more than 2 hours.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's true. But I think this was like a World Cup of, we can say, many upsets maybe. Like it was a very different World Cup.
Yeah.
It was in an Arab Muslim country. There are a lot of things that usually happen that didn't happen. Like even the teams that won the group stages were
Yeah, the group
very
stages
versatile.
yeah.
So I have 4 games here, 4 of the scores. I just want to ask about like which team you supported before, and which team you happy that won. Of course, the Argentina and Saudi Arabia team. I think we all felt like Argentina should have won, but I was happy to see an Arab team reach
Big time.
like the place they did reach. Germany versus Japan. Who do you guys support?
I do not like Germany whatsoever. Before this World Cup, not a Germany fan whatsoever. Really like Japan though. I think Japan. What's really nice about them is you see like those TikToks and those videos of them like,
That's true.
after the game where like their fans are cleaning up the stadium, and their own team is like cleaning up the dressing room, and they're really hardworking players. They're known to be like players that don't necessarily commit like cheap fouls and so on and so forth. They're not a team that accumulates a lot of yellow and red cards. They're a very very likable team. And Germany team, as a Brazil fan at the time, is not one of my favorite teams, to be honest with
True as
you.
well.
So I really wanted Japan to win against Germany. Yeah.
I think Germany I think they were full of themselves.
I think it was the biggest
Yeah.
upset, honestly.
Yeah, like Japan, like Germany played well, but Japan, I feel like they have this like really good connection, really good chemistry
And
between their players.
That's true. And their
Maybe-
playstyle is really different.
Sorry?
Their playstyle is extremely different.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Yeah.
They also won against Japan versus Spain. They won against Spain 2-1,
So
which is awesome.
Yeah, that game, I didn't look at it more as much of Japan versus Spain. It was more so Japan versus another, like Japan versus Germany, because at the same time, I don't know if you guys remember, but Germany was playing against, I forgot who, but Germany had to get a certain score out of that game, while
Yeah.
Japan had to beat Spain
Mhm.
or tie with Spain or whatever to go through. And Spain had already qualified. So Spain didn't necessarily care too much.
That's true.
But they didn't automatically qualify, but they were in good standing. And so when I was watching the Spain versus Japan game, I was like, okay, Japan, I forgot what it was. It was like 1-1 or something, and they go score that ridiculous goal where the guy cut it back from almost out of play. I don't know if you guys remember.
Oh yeah, and a lot of people like on social media, everyone was like, it's out. But then if you look at it from the top,
I do.
if you look at it from top,
Yeah, I do
you
remember
see that part of the ball wasn't fully out.
Yeah,
but if you look at
sure.
it from the side, you see the ball was fully out. So it was
And it was like
interesting.
so it was very much like a fairy tale kind of win for Japan over Spain. So they killed they won against one of the other giants in Germany, and then they won against Spain again. And then they knocked, which is great for me. They knocked out Germany from that game. So them winning knocked out Germany, and I forgot who the other team was.
I'm not sure.
But
Costa Rica, maybe?
Costa Rica,
Yeah.
I think.
I think so.
So it was really nice to see for me.
So what team did you think was gonna do again really well? but they had a really bad performance overall.
I thought Qatar was going to do better.
Really?
Yeah, I thought Qatar was going to do better. Like before they just won the Asian Cup before. They were doing pretty good. I think they have like a really good set of players that are young. Like if you know about their Aspire Academy, that's how they actually make their players. All of their players have started since they're in elementary school, high school, and they have grown up together. So I feel like they have really good chemistry. I'm not sure, maybe it was the pressure or was the first time for them to play the World Cup at a bigger stage, a lot of responsibility. I thought playing in their homeland should have helped, but their performance wasn't that great.
I think they were the lowest ranked team to ever host the World Cup.
Yeah. Oh, really?
I think so, yeah. So I wasn't as shocked as you were.
Yeah.
I think the one that killed me was Brazil.
The versus Croatia.
Yeah, like just in general. As a Brazil fan before, I was like very used to. I was telling everyone like Brazil's gonna end up flopping somehow, but their team just looked way too good.
Their bench was better than half the team.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
they literally had every single player.
Yeah,
that's like perfect.
Yeah, and so I was looking. I was like, I remember it was during Jum'ah that the game was going on, and I was actually giving the khutbah. And while giving the khutbah, I got a notification from my siblings saying, "Oh, Brazil scored! What a goal!" So I had to swipe up quickly, like remove it, not to get distracted during the khutbah. And so after the khutbah, I remember I ran outside and had all the shabab around us, and we opened up the game and we were watching, and it was I thought it was 1-0 Brazil still. Yeah. Turns out Croatia scored. And then Croatia goes and wins it on penalties. And I remember the entire we're at UCC, so the entire second floor, first floor was just going crazy.
The smoke.
The smoke.
They're watching the.
Yeah. It was very, very interesting to see. I thought France wouldn't have. I didn't think France could lose, but they just ended up losing to Argentina, which is great for me.
Yeah. It's a tense game though.
Very intense.
I thought France really did well. If they were missing really key players, Pogba, Conte, all that. But the Benzema, he didn't play. He was supposed to come back.
Exactly.
But, yeah.
Last question about the World Cup is: what was the most tense game? My personal was Netherlands versus Argentina for some reason. That was like the two goals they scored were. I don't know if they were lucky or
up and down.
I couldn't watch it. I closed the game.
Man, the thing with this World Cup, and this is not good because Islam, we're not supposed to let something take our heart.
That's true.
Or really attached to it. But I remember I was telling my friends, I was like, there's just a series of games where it's just super close, and the icing on the cake was Argentina versus Netherlands, and wanting Argentina to win. I was literally just overwhelmed with emotions to the point where I was the next day there was no games and people were it's kind of sucks there's no games. And I was no, alhamdulillah, there's no games today. I need a break. My physical, mental self, I'm just completely drained. I need something to just recharge until the next time. But every single time, man, it was a heart attack every single game with Argentina. That Netherlands game though, I think was one of the best games I've seen. That and the France game, but I was more at ease during the France game than the Argentina Netherlands game. The Netherlands game was, oh man,
because they made a comeback at the end, which was so annoying. But it is what it is. That's soccer. And
I agree with you. The France game was. No, you said the Netherlands game. I think the France game was.
I think the Argentina game. Because it was the final as well.
It was 10 minutes left. They were down two goals.
That's true. Yeah.
They came back. They scored 33. It's it wasn't I have no clue what the defense was doing, to be honest. But
Mbappe was a beast that game.
Yeah.
He disappeared for the entire game.
Yeah.
And then subhanAllah, he just happened to show up in the 80th minute. The thing with the France game though is that Mbappe scored in the 79th and 80th or 80th in the first
2 minutes in between or something.
The Netherlands game, Weghorst, the striker from Netherlands, he scored in the last minute, and they added I think 10 minutes of extra time or 8 minutes of extra time, and he scored in the last minute to draw. And it was off of the free kick, the play there.
Yeah.
Oh, the under the wall
where he passed it. I know, and they did it in the last minute.
That was ridiculous.
It was you're a few seconds away from winning the game, and they go and just take it.
Yeah, that's true.
The thing with the France-Argentina game is after France scored those goals, Argentina got back control of the game, and even in extra time they were controlling the game. If it wasn't for that penalty from Mbappe, I think they would have still. I think Argentina that entire game was just the better team.
Yeah.
But that Netherlands team at the end was just attacking. It looked like they were about to score everything.
I feel that I felt personally that the Argentinian defense was too loose after they scored a goal. They just let it go. You
what
can't
game?
do that.
The-
All of them.
Really?
All of them. Netherlands, France. Yeah.
Well, what was their goalkeeper's name?
Emi Martinez.
Martinez.
My man was literally saved us. That's besides the point. And of course, we know Maghreb, Morocco, was the fourth winner of the World Cup. Like, they didn't win the World Cup,
Fourth
they were the fourth place, exactly. They did awesome, and I think they set the record for the first African team to reach that far in a World Cup. Exactly. You know, like, I don't know. I felt proud as a Muslim, as a country nearing that place. Seeing an African team reach these like lengths of it's pretty awesome.
Dina Maghreb.
But yeah, I think that's about that. And in these games, we saw a lot of stereotypes being broken. Like, I would never have expected Hakim. I don't know if you guys remember him hugging his mother.
Oh yeah,
which went viral.
That was a beautiful
Which
gesture.
went insane.
That, and then Boufal, the picture that was like seen around the world of him dancing with his mom.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
I think it was overall it was a World Cup that broke a lot of stereotypes, especially for Muslims in general. Like, a lot of the stuff many people thought about us was disproven. I don't know if you also remember in the Maghreb game where they all did sujood, which was pretty
I think
awesome.
they did sujood for almost every game. I'm not too sure.
Really?
Yeah, the
I remember
Maghreb
two
team-
games.
Yeah, the Maghreb team was it was really nice to see, because what happens a lot with like Muslim athletes, you don't necessarily see like, and this is like no deterring other people or dragging out other people, but people that are representing Islam are not necessarily the most practicing or showing like the true values of Islam. What's really nice about the Maghreb team is that after every game they're going to celebrating with their parents, they're praying, they're doing the sujood, so on and so forth. You see videos of them before their game against the penalty shootout against Spain. They were reciting Fatiha together and so on and so forth. So there's a lot of like they didn't just like close in and say, oh, I'm Muslim, not necessarily show it, but they went out of their way to actually like portray the fact that they're Muslim. And it's similar to things with Habib, where like Alhamdulillah for everything, Alhamdulillah for everything, going out of his way to show that he's Muslim and show the true beauty of Islam, which is not something, growing up we don't necessarily see that. When have you seen a Muslim athlete that like has done something like that, or is like the biggest athlete in the world, or the biggest thing in the world? Not necessarily the case, right? There's only a few people here and there. We have Muhammad Ali and so on and so forth. Not this Muhammad Ali, but Muhammad Ali. but yeah, that's why it was very inspirational to see.
I think his brother's he's following his footsteps. Not his brother, sorry, his cousin, Islam.
Islam.
Makachev.
I don't know if he's his cousin, but it's like
they're family friends, maybe.
Neighbors.
They grew up in the same
interesting.
system.
Okay.
Yeah.
And
Under Habib's dad. Yeah.
Okay.
Just one thing I want to add. Like, two players from Morocco really stood out for me. Do you know Sufyan?
I know their numbers. I don't know
number
their numbers.
18. Number 18. Amrabat, yeah. He's really good.
14
He's
as
really
well?
good. And the other guy, he was really young. Nahi, number 8.
Oh, he's amazing.
That person,
He's amazing. He's amazing.
He played really good. He got praised by Enrique, the Spanish coach. He got praised by Mourinho. Just Mourinho.
And a lot of their team got many offers from like a lot of huge clubs.
As they should, man. Yeah, amazing.
They deserve it, honestly.
Bruno was their keeper, was one of the best keepers in the tournament. But Amrabat, he played defensive midfielder, and he was against Spain. And Spain is known to be like their main aspect is how strong they are in the midfield. And Amrabat was locking up Sergio Busquets, Gavi, Pedri, just completely just like putting him in soccer they say putting him in his pocket, which was crazy. And he's not necessarily like the most known player like before this tournament. I know of another Amrabat who's I think his older brother. Or a relative of his who was a winger, not necessarily a defensive mid, who didn't get to the same heights. But this guy he's still young. I don't know.
He is
23.
He's 26.
26. Okay.
That's insane.
He's still time.
Still like going into his prime of his career. So he's a lot of potential. And then Unahi guy.
Now he's like early 20s.
He's controlling midfield, going crazy.
Like, I've got to be honest, like I didn't watch many of the Moroccan games, like because I did not necessarily have faith in them.
After the Germany game.
Yeah, and they even like won against Portugal, which was insane.
Spain and then Portugal. Yeah.
Portugal was an awesome game.
Yeah. What I felt that was very meaningful is that all the Muslims, all the Arabs felt a sense of belongingness to Morocco. I don't think we had that was the first time all the Muslim countries, Muslim people felt like a sense of belongingness to a sport or like a team that
It's a
represented
major
all of
event.
this. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Very little do you see like on like these big stages. You see like Muslims taking the stage,
Exactly.
and so having not to do that. And Peter Drury, I don't know if you're familiar with Peter Drury. He's the commentator, the guy that commentated for I don't know how many World Cup games, but in the finals, so on and so forth.
Is that the person who said the Messi one in 2014?
Yeah, he's the British guy. He does like these crazy monologues throughout while he's commentating, and what he said was, and this is like really nice to hear.
Africa's northernmost tip, a sporting event of inestimable global significance. Morocco, for their continent, for their culture, on behalf of Africa, on behalf of the Arab world, a national team bearing not just its own flag, but the desire of millions of billions who identify with them.
I don't know if he said about the Muslim side of things.
I don't think he.
I don't think he said that either.
Yeah.
But we know from the Muslim side of
exactly.
things, I think that's the main root in all of this is the fact that they're all Muslim, and then we're all Muslim, and that's what's bringing us all together. The fact that we're Muslim.
That's true.
And of course, you have that sides of the African side, the Arab side, so on and so forth. But one of the main drivers of that was the fact that we're all Muslim, and they're doing those acts of like showing care to their parents and respect to their parents, and like doing the sajda and so on and so forth. But
I think like as well bringing in like the cultural aspect and the Muslim aspect. I think one of my favorite moments probably was like when Messi was lifting up the World Cup. Like when he was wearing the bisht.
Mm-hmm.
So to anyone who doesn't know, the bisht is like a luxurious Arab thing that people wear to very special events.
Mm-hmm.
But
it costs a lot too.
Yeah, it does. And I don't know if you've seen them, like they like the shops literally all sold out of the bisht they have in Qatar, which was pretty insane.
One thing about the bish that I found like peculiar is that like a lot of like media was like opposing. They were like Qatar took advantage of this moment to represent themselves. I think it was a moment. I think it was a beautiful gesture. I think like when Maradona won his second cup, World Cup or first World Cup, I believe, it was in Mexico, and he wore like a Mexican hat. And no one said anything about it. But it's just something to point out there.
And when you ask a lot of Argentinian fans and like the players themselves, they really didn't find like anything wrong with Messi or the team themselves wearing the bisht. That's why other people find it a problem. That I don't know, honestly.
Well, if you like go back to like the sign of giving someone a bisht, and it wasn't just anyone that gave him the bisht.
Exactly.
Who's the
Tamim, their president or like their sheikh.
Yeah.
The Amir, yeah.
Sheikh, yeah.
Sheikh Amir.
Essentially.
Essentially, it's one of the most respected people in the country, or one of the people that has the highest power. Whether or not respected is a different topic. One of the people that has like a huge amount of power in the country, and is coming to this soccer player, this athlete, and giving him one of the most well-respected, pieces of garment, and like placing it on him and then saying like, here, this is yours. It's one of the biggest signs of respect, which a lot of people, maybe from the West didn't understand that, hey, this is a sign of respect.
Exactly.
Or maybe, like how it is usually in the West, that they like to bash the Muslim Arab side of things. I know there's a lot of racist comments that were coming up from that, but like what's really funny though is if you think about it, Messi, whether or not you think Messi or Ronaldo is better doesn't really matter in this case, but
He is, but
exactly. But essentially, you have the biggest event in the world, the biggest, like the most popular sport in the world, and then you have the biggest player in his biggest moment. All these different layers to it, and like what is it associated with? This picture with the bisht,
Exactly.
which is better. Yeah, exactly.
Even if you Google like bisht itself, you'll literally find like many
First thing
pictures
that
of
pops up,
Messi.
Messi
Yeah.
with the bish,
Which is awesome, honestly. Like Arabs in general are being represented more, I feel like.
Yeah.
Even Muslims as well.
I felt like the Qatar's hosting the World Cup and Messi winning it was engraved in the
Exactly.
history.
Yeah, like if you associate the two,
Yeah.
Messi winning the World Cup, his biggest moment, probably one of the biggest moments in sports, period.
Especially with Qatar.
With Qatar, a Muslim country, Arab country, which is
Probably, in my opinion, and many people's opinion, was probably the best World Cup.
agreed. Yeah.
Like everything was perfect. In my opinion, like maybe some stuff wasn't like very ethical or like of that sort, but and like as a sporting event, like the teams, the upsets.
Execution was pretty good.
Yeah, it was perfect. I really liked it.
Yeah, if you look at like from top to bottom, like the right person won, in my opinion.
That's true.
Like you said, the upsets and the teams that were going far, like they weren't teams that you dislike. Like no one's gonna dislike the Moroccan team.
Exactly.
No one's gonna dislike the Japanese team.
Everyone likes the underdogs.
You wouldn't expect them to reach this.
The thing I don't like about underdogs is that I like an underdog to win, but I don't want them to go too far.
Exactly, me too.
I don't know why.
I'm the same way. For me,
like I have your time, go at it, but there's a limit here, okay? like quarterfinals, semifinals, khalas.
We're gonna clip that. I think I'm on the same wave as you in the sense that I just want the best football being played. Like regardless of who it is, like I just want the best team to win in the sense that I just want to see the nicest, the most entertaining thing to watch is what I want to see. That's why I was kind of a little bit off when Brazil lost because they played the nicest football. Like regardless,
Richarlison,
Oliver Charleston's goal, all of his goals were crazy.
Yeah, that was.
They played really nice football. Mbappe was tearing it up. Messi was producing absolute scenes.
The assist the no-look assist he
against
did.
Netherlands.
Oh yeah,
I was like, how do you see that?
Yeah, that was
like through players too.
Yeah. When I watched that live,
I was like,
oh my goodness, it was like your heart melted, bro.
I just have one question. Were you guys sad, happy that Cristiano left the World Cup that early?
That's
there's two perspectives. Morocco got the fourth place, and Cristiano Ronaldo and Portugal left that early. Like in an optimal world, or in a perfect world, would have been Argentina versus Portugal, which everyone wanted.
Yeah. I don't know. Like from the Muslim side of things, and of course the Arab side of things, there's you want Morocco to win.
Exactly. Yeah.
And to be honest, like that is a much more stronger driving force than Ronaldo. Of course, well respected in his career. Like at this point, there's nothing else for him to prove. Like there's nothing else for him to prove.
I felt that he got disrespected.
He did get disrespected,
by the coaches, by the team in general. To be honest,
yeah.
I think someone like Ronaldo, he has achieved so much in his life that you can let stuff go,
Exactly.
But at the same time, people have different views.
I think what didn't help is the fact that Messi was just having an amazing.
It wasn't
if there's one person that caught just like the biggest L all of that entire month and a half or however long was Ronaldo.
Yeah.
To be honest.
He was benched. I'm sorry, but he was benched a lot of the time during the games.
Even the group stage games, he didn't play the full 90 minutes for some of them as well.
Yeah.
He's it's a little tough on his end, but at the end of the day, when you look back on it, if you're looking at legacies, what hasn't that man accomplished? World Cup, cool. A lot of players in this generation haven't accomplished that World Cup. If you look at the teams that have won, it's great teams, not great players. France 2018, amazing team. Germany 2014, amazing team. Spain 2010, who's the
Iniesta.
Yeah, exactly. Who's the quote unquote star player? It isn't like a
one person.
Yeah, exactly. So even Messi was failure after failure after failure in the World Cup. It wasn't until this year when his team just took it to the next level.
I think what made Argentina special this year, I think that everyone in the squad were just
dogs.
Exactly.
There's dogs.
They wanted to win the World Cup, not just for the sake of winning the World Cup, but for winning for Messi.
And
that's how much respect.
Yeah.
And if you look at DePaul, for example, it's literally his bodyguard.
His bodyguard. It's literally his bodyguard.
It was really funny. But they did really.
Whenever you see a picture, the meme is whenever you see a picture, you're just behind them.
Yeah.
You're just there.
Now let's switch gears to another Islamic related topic, which is how awesome of a job the Qatari government, Tamim, did in spreading dawah for the World Cup. Sheikh Tamim, or whatever his name is. How awesome of a job he did in spreading dawah and in the Qatar World Cup. For example, the Qatari locals, not him only, even the Qatari people, how they brought people into their homes, they showed them the Arab culture, the Islamic culture, the rules, the religion itself, taking them to mosques. Do you guys have any other examples on?
Yeah, as you said, the Qatari people being very hospitable showed the true value of accommodative in our religion.
Exactly.
So that was really I think that was very deep, and I I feel that these small actions are the things that carry and stay with people for a longer time. For example, someone offering you a meal while you don't know where to buy food and stuff. I think that stays with the person, you know, and that's where the real dawah can happen.
That's true.
What about the like the more broader senses of dawah? I know they brought in Dr. Zakir Naik. I know it's something you're very happy about. I don't know if you want to comment on that at all. But I know they had like, I don't know if this was just information spread through WhatsApp groups, so I don't know how reliable it is. But they had like hundreds and something of conversions to Islam. Which is it's a really beautiful thing to see. You know, like this, like we go back to the fact that it was such a huge successful sporting event. But when you look at like from the Muslim side of you and like where we should really be focusing, is the fact that like this was a huge win for them, right? Because all eyes are on us, and how did we perform as an ummah in that case, right? And we performed pretty well. You know, a lot of people were converting. A lot of people really saw, if they weren't converting, they saw those
positive side.
Positive side, right? Those misconceptions were gone.
Changing perspective.
Exactly.
That's what I felt.
What were you gonna say about Dr. Zakir Naik? I don't know if you had any comments on that.
I thought it was a really nice gesture by Qatar to bring such a notable da'iyah to Qatar to just expand this horizon, right? So a lot of people from different nations, different countries, different backgrounds come to the World Cup. So I feel like having a great da'iyah like Zakir Naik in a huge location with lots of tourists and stuff was a great success.
Have you guys heard of Uthman Khamis?
No.
He's from Kuwait. He's a really famous da'iyah as well. Very famous in the Middle East, especially.
And there's also the other point too. My dad kept bugging me with this one, but he was saying how at the beginning of the World Cup, with the opening ceremony, they started off with Quran.
That was beautiful.
Which is really nice to see, because as Muslims we try and live with the Quran as our example, as our guide, and so showing that to the rest of the world was one of the more important things.
It was very inclusive to a lot of cultures, a lot of different people, different backgrounds, and like all that type of stuff, which I really liked as well. Have you guys? I wanted to read a hadith that was one of the many hadith and many Quran like ayat posted on the walls in the malls, like shops, wherever it is.
That was a big one.
And that was I think it was Akram al-Dayf. I'm just gonna read it right now. Prophet ﷺ said, "Who believes in Allah and the last day should not hurt his neighbor, and whoever believes in Allah and the last day should serve his guest generously, and whoever believes in Allah and the last day should speak what is good or keep silent." So like the Qatari people really did take that into heart, the hadith, and they really did show like the true form of Islam, what it really means to be Muslim. And I think overall, I genuinely felt like I'm always proud to be Muslim, of course, but it felt extra, felt extra amazing to be Muslim, to be represented in that way.
It's like the biggest stage, the biggest sports, the biggest venues, and you look back on it, it's like, okay, it was Islam was represented in a proper manner.
Yeah, it was much more than a sporting event.
Exactly.
It was a da'wah, was a place where cultures of everywhere in the world, they came together for a sporting event, of course. But as we said, it's more than a sporting event.
So just one thing, it might be going back to the football aspect of it. One thing I liked about Qatar, like all of us had these games, we didn't go to the World Cup.
Yeah.
But for the people who actually attended the World Cup, they were able to actually watch multiple games in the same day.
Yeah.
Some people watched 3, 4 games the same day. Literally, stadiums. People could take scooters between stadiums. That's how close the stadiums were. So I think that was a really positive plus. Did you guys hear see the Metro guy?
Metro, the meme?
Yeah, the Metro meme.
He was the good director?
That's okay.
It was really
I think there was this guy called Ben on TikTok. I'm not sure you guys know him. He's like a football TikToker.
Is he from the UK?
Yeah, he is.
Did he go to every single game?
Yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah.
That was pretty nice as well.
He went to every single game, or he tried to go to every single game.
I think he did. He did go to every single game, yeah.
That's awesome.
You guys have, as we know, the next World Cup is in Canada, America, and Mexico. Do you have any specific teams you're supporting next World Cup?
We support the country.
Yeah.
Not because of anything crazy. You know, we grew up here. It's nice to see it's the country. But also, like, I'm still gunning for Brazil. Messi won his World Cup.
Same.
It's cool. I genuinely hope he retires. I just hope within this next year he just moves to the US or Saudi or something and just puts his football boots away and just like relaxes, because like there's nothing else for him to accomplish. Same thing with Ronaldo. But I really hope Brazil, you know, catches that dub.
Yeah. I do agree with you as well. But I really want Canada to do good. Like, we didn't do as good as
Definitely not.
as we thought we would. But I think we have a really good squad.
They did pretty well this World Cup.
Yeah, like against Belgium, we played against really good.
Thing is,
we can't finish.
Everyone played well against Belgium, bro. Belgium was one of the worst teams in the world. They played so terribly.
They've always been bad though.
No.
2018.
This is
why they weren't good. That
2018 they went to the semi-finals.
Man, for their players they're not that good.
Lukaku, De Bruyne.
No, so they were really good. This World Cup they were just terrible. They underperformed. So 2018 they were really good. 2018 they got to the semi-finals of the World Cup, knocked out Brazil, lost to France. Like, I think it was a header off of a set piece or something, or a penalty or something. That it was like 1-0. And 2014 they weren't as good because their players were a lot younger. But this was like, this generation of Belgian players was called like the golden generation, with Eden Hazard, Kevin De Bruyne, Lukaku. Some of those guys are getting up in age, and Kevin De Bruyne didn't look as good as he usually does. But Belgium really, really underperformed this World Cup, like really, really badly.
Yeah.
Canada couldn't finish.
Yeah,
but they had some promising players, bro.
Yeah, Jonathan David.
Jonathan David underperformed. Who did perform really well though was
Alphonso Davies was a beast.
He's always a beast, but Buchanan, I forgot his first name.
Number as a striker.
He's a winger.
Yeah.
He's really good. He's shifty.
Yeah, but he still doesn't know how to finish. That's
no, they don't know how to finish.
But
do you want to teach him?
I can teach him. Yeah, let's go. Free lessons. So out there, the
Canadian national team. If you're watching this, make sure hit up our boy Mohamed Ali over here.
I think that's all for this episode. It was wonderful having Nader.
Wonderful having you.
Mohamed.
Thank you for having
you guys. I think that's it. See you next episode on the MSA podcast.